Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using some of Honeybee Stamp's brand new fall products from their spooktacular release. I have their Fanciful A2 hot foil plate, the Lovely Layers fall foliage die set, the Green and Grunge paper collection. For a sentiment, I'll be using a fall foliage frame stamp set, and also the layering vintage labels die set. I have the plate already on my Glimmer machine. It's turned on, ready to go. The Glimmer foil I'll be using is the Opaque white color. And I thought it would be fun to do the hot foiling on some craft colored cardstock. I've cut out my piece of the white opaque Glimmer foil, and I'll lay it shiny side down onto the plate. Then I'll add my sheet of craft cardstock. Next, I'll place the thin shim and also the acrylic spacer pad on top, pull that whole plate out, run it through my die cut machine, and now I can reveal the beautiful background. I love how this turned out. The white on craft is so pretty. Next, I'll use 2 of the dies from the Layering Vintage Labels set. The smaller die I'll use to cut out the blue wood grain pattern paper, and the larger piece that has the stitch detail, I'll use that on some vellum. I'll be stamping this sentiment directly onto the blue wood grain pattern paper. This is Thinking of You. I am using my mini MISTI since I'll need to ink it up a few times to get a good solid impression. I'm also using Honeybee Stamp's pressure tool. Has this cute bee on the end. And I think it really does make a difference when you're stamping. I'm using a dark brown ink color for this sentiment. I'll layer those 2 pieces together using Honeybee Stamp's precision tip glue. I'll add just a light coating of the glue around that outside edge, a little bit in the center. And layer those 2 pieces together so it has that nice border around the outside. I will be popping this up using some of Honeybee Stamp's thin foam strip dimension. I love that these are easy to cut. That way you can customize them to the size you want. This is some of my favorite foam dimension. It's nice and thin, so it doesn't add a lot of bulk, and it's also super sticky. Sometimes foam dimension doesn't have a lot of stickiness to it, and I feel like I need to add liquid adhesive as well, but not with Honeybee Stamp's thin foam strips. I'll layer my background panel on some dark brown cardstock, then remove the release paper on my sentiment piece and adhere it in the lower right hand corner. And when I adhere to the card, I will have the very right side of the vellum portion hanging off the edge of the card. Then I'll flip over the card, use my scissors to trim off that extra piece. Then I'll put some ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. This is an American Standard A2 size card, 5.5 inches by 4.25 inches. Then I'll set aside the card so I can start working on the image. I'll be adding 2 of the leaf die cuts. These are from the Lovely Layers fall foliage die set, one of my favorites. I cut out 2 of the leaves from some dark teal cardstock, and I thought it would be fun to make them super sparkly. I'm using the Bee Shimmering Liquid Shimmer Watercolor. I just squirt some on my silicone mat, and I'm dipping those leaves directly into that beautiful shimmery liquid. In some of the areas where I felt I got too much of that shimmery liquid, I did wipe it off on my silicone mat. And I was a little bit impatient waiting for those to dry, so I did use my heat tool to help assist in the drying process. Then once those leaves were dry, I used my fingers to curl up the very edges of the leaves. I will be popping up just the top portion of both of the leaves using some foam dimension. Then I'll use liquid adhesive on the bottom portion toward the stem. I'll add both of the leaves to the left side of the sentiment, layering them together. I'll add a twine bow. This is some craft and white colored twine that matches that background perfectly. And this twine is something I've had in my craft room for years. I cut 2 pieces so I could tie a double bow, and I'll adhere it to the bottom portion of the leaves using a small glue dot. Do you ever go through phases where you use one particular type of embellishment? I think right now I'm in the twine embellishment phase. To finish off the card, I'll add a few of the gem stickers from the Green and Grunge collection. I love the colors in this pack. Lots of neutrals with a little bit of blue. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links provided in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.